Hello and welcome to another episode of My Passion Point oh, where we talk about my passion in nursing, which could change in a week from now or in 5 years. But on today's episode, we're going to be talking about my current passion, which is eventually becoming a CRNA. We're also going to be talking about my background and what led me to the decision of eventually becoming a CRNA. So I've been in healthcare for 11 plus years. I started out as a CNA at a nursing home, worked there for about 3 months and moved on to a hospital to work at. I worked there for about 3.5 years. There I gained a bunch of clinical experience and wanted more. I wanted to do more things and help people in more ways. So that led me to obtain my paramedic license. Once I got that, I worked for Iredell County for the first 3 years of my EMS career and eventually moved on to Davie County, where I worked 4.5 years. During that time, I gained a bunch of experience in emergency medical intervention as well as trauma, and I also obtained an award from the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Now that we've talked about my background, let's talk about why I want to become a registered nurse. I wanted to become a registered nurse back when I was a CNA. But then I got a little taste of EMS when I got my EMT basic license. And so I wanted to get some experience in trauma before eventually becoming a registered nurse. But the entire reason why I want to be a registered nurse is to gain some experience through flight nursing. But what is flight nursing?
Shut down.
What was your estimated speed? Is that right?
You need to leave your leg down, okay?
Come up a little with these.
It what?
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. That's basically what these come to be very tough.
Yeah, unfortunately the backboards aren't very comfortable.
Okay. First up.
Doesn't that look super cool? So those super cool nerds in jumpsuits have to be certified in both ACLS and PALS. And most hospitals that employ these flight nurses want them to have at least 1 year of experience in critical care nursing or emergency medicine. And so when these people respond to these calls and arrive on the scene via helicopter, there's usually 2 to 3 nurses that will arrive on the scene. And one of the nurses usually focus on the airway aspect, and the other nurse does a quick head-to-toe or a focus assessment on whatever's wrong with the patient, and they also handle the medications. If there's 3 nurses, one will handle the medications, one will do the assessment, and one will focus on the airway. So let's talk about the reason why I want to become a flight nurse before eventually becoming a CRNA. So I've already got 7+ years of experience in EMS, and I'm very experienced in trauma and emergency medicine. So I think it's a great opportunity for me to gain some nursing experience in the hospital as well as on the helicopter before going to school to get my master's in nursing and eventually becoming a CRNA. So one of the requirements of becoming a flight nurse is that you have to be under a certain amount of weight. And so eventually, one of the things that will catch up to me is either my age or my weight. So I can't be on the helicopter forever, which brings me to my next point of eventually becoming a CRNA. But how might you become a CRNA, you might ask? So you would need to obtain your BSN, or Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, as well as some kind of specialization in nursing, whether it be emergency room, critical care, general med surg, just some kind of area in nursing where you have a ton of experience. They typically don't accept new nurses as CRNAs. And so after that, you want to apply to an accredited anesthesia school for nursing. After that, you will have obtained your MSN, or Master's of Science in Nursing, and you'll go apply to a hospital, a private practice, or even a clinic. And so CRNAs can be used in all types of surgeries, whether it be general, obstetrical, or even emergency surgery. Lastly, why do I want to become a CRNA? Looking back on my career to when I was a nursing assistant in a nursing home to a paramedic on an ambulance, I've always wanted to help my patients in any way I can. And what better way to do that than to transition into the last years of my nursing career as a CRNA? Well, that just about wraps it up for this episode of My Passion .0. Join me on the next episode where we explore my passion for bagels. Have a good night.